Hello dear friends, colleagues, students, singers. Here is another vocal tip. And I would like to talk today about what I would call a good crack and a bad crack. Many singers, especially tenors, are afraid of cracks. And so I just want to make this different and to talk about the risky zone, what I call, in singing and how it related to the good crack. So let's start with the risky zone, okay? You probably hear or heard a lot about this kind of baby crying and so on approach to release the voice, right? So the voice doesn't go from bottom like this, but more of like cry, cry, this kind of voice. To explain it a bit more, I would say physically, scientifically, in a way, I would call it a risky zone, okay? The idea is that for not very developed voice, or also some professional singers, when we learn the support and the low larynx position and everything, as students, at the beginning, when the vocal cords are not very developed yet, we think we need to apply some pressure or overpressure on the vocal cords in order to make a concentrated, good, carrying and flying sound. And then, when the vocal cords are developed more as muscles, while we're practicing and singing on this volume, on this size in the throat, and with this support, we're left sometimes with the rest of the life, for many singers, with the idea that we need to work to give a certain amount of pressure to achieve it, while in reality we don't. Here comes this idea of baby crying, the correct one, not this one, but the kind of yodeling release baby crying, this idea. And generally, the idea is that we have to work as less as possible with maximum result. We have to go to this risky zone to find how much pressure, let's say, we should apply here in order to make a stable but free sound, which is also the best sound by its resonating qualities. And on the same time, which red line shouldn't we cross to get to a break, to a crack, to a turn into falsetto, okay? For instance, if I take, in this approach, if I take a note and I release and release and release, I will get to this falsetto jump, which is a crack at the end of the day, right? If I do it will jump because I released too much and the chords don't hold anymore the under chords air pressure of the support. But if I play around the risky zone, let myself go there, especially when I practice, and hold it on a level in which it's just one step as close as possible to this breaking zone, but still making a stable sound, here I'm ending with a healthy, good and very free sound, which also resonates very well. So instead of doing and applying a lot of pressure, I would just go with a free one. It's a very pleasant sound in the room. It's very easy to sing this way. The triangle that I'm talking about, watch the video about the triangle, is working. And so I have a good base of support. I have a closure, and I'm staying close to this zone in which the voice will jump, but it's still not jumping because I'm applying enough energy, enough pressure, let's say, to hold the vocal cords as the muscles. And so I would say that Pavarotti was one of the greatest singers who really sang in this risky zone, who was not afraid, who was secure enough to stay there, to have this brilliant voice, and the risk of it is to stay kind of near the jump, near the crack. And it's very hard, not only physically, but psychologically on the stage with the orchestra and with all the pressure, financial pressure, you know, the people who came and bought the tickets, to stay there and to dare to keep singing in this kind of place without going and holding the voice more, to go to a more secure place, in which nothing will jump, but I need to apply much more work on the system, and the voice is less pleasant, okay? Here we go to a good krack and a bad krack. There are two kinds of cracks. One of them is, I would say, almost necessary positive, and one is very bad. They may sound the same to untrained ear, but a singer, especially the student, has to have the ability to distinguish those two. What's going on physically is the good krack. I was right now talking about it, okay? It's a conscious daring to sing with the amount of freedom in which just one step more you will go to a yodel, to a falsetto, because the chords are so free, okay? This step is necessary while learning, while doing exercises, to keep yourself, to train yourself to be close to this red line, and so to have the courage and the ability to maintain and sing as free as possible. Not everyone can do it in this level, you know, some people dare to go close, some close to the red line, some people a bit further, but thinking about it and training it will definitely give you more stamina, more caring voice, and more natural vibrations of the bones and the system that will produce more resonance and more colors. A bad krack, which is physically also giving up of the vocal cord jumping to the falsetto, but from completely different reasons. When singing not with your voice, when pushing a lot, when singing not in the right tessitura or not the right repertoire, or mostly actually singing technically not correct, is leading to swollen vocal cords. They look red, they get swollen, they're much less flexible, they work very hard, and if we continue singing like this, especially trying to go to the high notes, the vocal cords give up and jump to the falsetto. But it's not healthy white vocal cords that jump there just because you apply minimum pressure. It's swollen red vocal cords that with a lot of pressure giving up and cannot hold anymore the note. This case is very dangerous. The first thing to do is to stop completely singing and reconsider the vocal technique, taking few lessons with a good teacher, and seeing what I'm doing wrong. The first case of the healthy, as I call it, krack, is necessary to learn where is your red line, where is your border, practicing, sometimes getting there, and trying to stay as close as possible to this free place, but still not crossing the red line. And, of course, a special attention to that concentration on the high notes. So, play with your voice, subscribe to my channel for more vocal tips. For any collaboration or coaching, I coach live in Berlin and internationally. You're welcome to write me a private message. And, of course, any questions you have from time to time, I answer them and build my vocal tips built on that. Have a good voice and good practice. Ciao, ciao.